Hello and welcome to the Hounding Harmony Dog Training Podcast, the show that helps you go from chaos to calm with your dog, one episode at a time. I'm Emily, a dog trainer and licensed veterinary technician, here to give you practical tips, real-life strategies, and the confidence to raise a well-behaved, obedient dog without the overwhelm. Let's jump in and create a calm and connected life with your dog. Potty training is one of the toughest early challenges you face with a new pup. It's easy to get frustrated, so I'm going to give you some of my FAQs when it comes to potty training so you can feel more prepared and confident in the whole area. I think potty training is a common struggle for dog owners because it takes intense consistency. You have to quickly adjust to their current needs, and it's hard to make those pivots sometimes because we're often learning right alongside of them. And the more mistakes we make, the longer it takes to make progress. Although these mistakes are still important for us to learn, the quicker that we learn how to communicate with them effectively, the quicker they're going to understand our expectations and how life is for them. Mistakes are inevitable, so don't stress about being perfect. Setbacks are normal, they're fixable. We're going to talk about it all. So realistically, what does potty training success look like? Some dogs are simply smarter or more intuitive than others. It's just the fact of life. And those dogs are going to learn a lot faster. They're going to catch on quicker than some of our more stubborn, happy-go-lucky breeds. Some of our smaller dogs have the disadvantage of a bladder that can only hold like a teaspoon of fluid. It's going to take a lot more effort on your part to get those little dogs trained because they need more frequent trips outside. It's completely normal to not fully trust your dog to not have an accident in the house for the first 5 or 6 months, although you should be out of the woods after about a month with infrequent accidents. The more that they can learn your routine, the better that they will get because they're going to know when the next bathroom break is. So don't compare yourself to every other potty training case, but if you're still struggling with this after 6 months and after you've implemented what we talk about today, it could be something that you talk to your vet about or really get clear on what might be happening. Take a step back, look at all the evidence, see if there's something that is causing this delay. So before I dig into the FAQs, let's make sure that you're doing the basics right. The 3 keys to potty training are supervision, routine, and consistency. You should have 24/7 supervision on them when they are not in a kennel. For the first couple weeks, this looks like using a leash to make sure that it is impossible for you to miss an accident. Every missed accident is reaffirming the fact that they can go wherever they want. For routine, we need to give them a framework of expectation so their inner clock can learn to expect when they're going to go out next. If you have a medium to large sized breed, they can do the normal working day hours a lot earlier than you would expect. So just jump in with your normal routine and they're going to catch on eventually. And by normal routine, I mean letting them out before you go to work, letting them out maybe at lunch. You don't have to. This is a luxury not many people have. And then when you get home from work, obviously taking them out right away. They're going to start to get a feel for that, and that's going to help them understand when it's going to happen next. And the final key, be extremely consistent. The more you do, the more you get. We can make up all kinds of excuses for why we're not showing up, but the fact of the matter is, when you show up, you're doing less work in the long run. So if you're tired, suck it up, take them outside, watch them. If you can't deal with it right now, put them in their kennel until you can. It's a little bit of tough love for my people who kind of have a mental barrier around things. You can do it. You just need to choose to. One last thing I wanted to mention, if your pup is urinating excessively, I'm talking every 10 minutes, after 12 weeks, or their urine is smelling sweet or is sticky, that's a really good indicator that you need to bring that up to your vet. It could indicate a UTI, diabetes, or a plethora of other issues. But it could also just be your puppy's undeveloped brain. So Just adding that info in so that you have it if you need it. So most potty training issues can be fixed by just making sure you're doing those 3 keys: supervision, routine, and consistency. Just real quick, if you do not know my potty training philosophy of method, this is how I've potty trained all of my dogs. I've probably done 12 at least pups by now. So it's really simple. You follow those 3 keys, and the actual method of it is you set a timer. So you take them outside, and I would start with a 15-minute timer. Start that timer, and in 15 minutes, if they can make it with no accidents, you take them back out again to go again. This might sound excessive, but it ensures that we're getting the fewest accidents inside, and we're really getting that implanted in their brain early that, hey, we go to the bathroom outside. If they can't make it that whole 15 minutes without an accident, when I see an accident, I pick them up immediately. I don't really react. I rush them outside, let them finish pottying outside, and I praise them when they actually do. Then we go back inside, we clean it up, and we reset the timer for less time. So if it was 15 minutes, I'm probably going to do a 10-minute timer. If you're picking up your puppy at 8 weeks, they are baby. They are so newborn-esque. They can pee every 15 minutes because they're just squatting whenever they have the urge. So they could have 1 milliliter in their bladder and they're going to let it go. So if they can make it to 15 minutes, then I extend it to 20 minutes. And I keep extending that timer as they are able until it's at an hour. Then usually by that point, they're potty trained. I think the last timer we had for Drax before he was potty trained was 45 minutes. And with this system, we never have accidents. I need to knock on wood because my luck would be they would eat something and get a bout of diarrhea, but that does not count. Illness does not count in our accident tracking or whatever we want to call it. I do all of that method with them on a leash until I can at least moderately trust them. Not until they're fully potty trained, but probably until we're doing a 25-30 minute timer. I have been told that this is excessive by many people. Mostly people on the internet, so take that for what it's worth. But I will tell you, my dogs are potty trained efficiently, quickly, and it sounds like a lot of work, and it is, but it doesn't take long for them to catch on. And I don't see regression with this method. So if you're following this method and or the 3 keys that I talked about earlier, you're not going to see the issues that I'm about to talk about. Or if you do, they're going to be quick fixes. So, first, implement those things. If you still have these issues, we're going to talk about it. Sometimes the dog has just come in from being outside and they immediately pee. This just means that they still haven't connected the inside-outside separation, and you need to make sure that they are going to the bathroom when you take them outside, especially if you're in that phase where you're only taking them outside periodically now. Do whatever it takes to get them to go to the bathroom outside. Let them get their zoomies out, and then they're going to go to the bathroom. If you're seeing frequent accidents in specific spots, you need to really get that area clean because they have marked it with their scent and they are continuing to mark it. Another thing you can do is if it's a rug, just move it. Clean it and then move it, and it'll kind of break up that routine. Obviously, ideally, it would be best to not let them create a routine, but if you're seeing some regression after initial success, that's normal. Puppies are kind of bird-brained. They're not super smart when you're usually potty training, so just keep pushing through. Keep up with your consistency, your routine, and your supervision, and you're going to see this regression pass. Some dogs urinate because they're excited or they're scared, and that's not really a potty training issue. I would adjust your body language instead of adjusting them. So be mindful of when your dog is getting overexcited, and be mindful of what body language you're using that could be making them feel like they need to submit so severely. For example, standing straight up and bending over your dog is actually super intimidating. They don't like that. They get used to it, but for a puppy, that's pretty scary. So it's pretty common that they're sitting in front of you, you bend over to pet them, and they pee. It's better to squat down and greet them, or help them move so that they can express and release that energy that's starting to, like, that anxiety that's getting pent up that's causing that reaction in their body. This is also something that they should grow out of. If they don't, it's usually because they're pretty immature in their socialization and their exposure training. So back to regression. If your dog is regressing, you probably need to take a step back in the training plan. So maybe your timer is too long. Maybe you took them off of a leash too soon. You're going to need to tighten up supervision to prevent the accidents. You're going to need to probably adjust the body schedule for their age and breed. Are you having unrealistic expectations? Make sure that you are cleaning fully to remove those scent markers in the carpet, in their bedding, etc. Also, the less accidents that they have in their kennel, the less accidents that they'll have in their kennel. That sounds really stupid when I say it out loud, but the idea is the less we allow them to do it, the less that they're going to continue to do it. So when I have a puppy that's really young, so like sub 10 weeks, if they wake up during the night, I'm going to take them out to go to the bathroom, because I don't want them to have to go that 8+ hours without going to the bathroom outside, because they're going to go in their kennel. And when I get them out of their kennel in the middle of the night, they go directly outside. We try to go potty, then they go directly back in their kennel. And that helps them not associate nighttime wakes with playtime. And remember not to respond to accidents in a negative way. Make sure you're focusing on positive association, because if they're feeling that shame and fear, they're going to start to get scared to go to the bathroom in front of you, which is going to make it harder to potty train them, because if they're not going outside when you let them out, then they're going inside. So just control your anger, control your frustration, take them straight outside to finish. If you find an old accident in the house that is long ago done, you didn't catch them as they were doing it, you've missed your chance to act on it. You need to just clean it up and basically tighten up on your supervision. Another aid that you could do is you can teach them an elimination word, and they actually catch on to this really quickly. All you do is when they're going to the bathroom, you choose a word to say while they do it. For my dogs, it's really basic. It's just go potty. So every time, I did this in college because I did not have time to dilly-dally on my dog walks. I needed to get back to class. So when we were out going to the bathroom, I'd let them walk around for it was like half a second. And then I would say, go potty. And I had my border collie, she would go immediately. And she would try every single time. But don't say it unless they're actively going until they've learned the meaning of the word. So it would take like a couple weeks before you should use it as a command. You're going to use it as naming first. Okay, something else that I hear is that your dog doesn't want to go outside when it's cold or when it's raining. And that really sucks, but they are a dog, so they have to go outside to go to the bathroom. And my solution is you just gotta go with them. Get an umbrella, put on a coat, put on your snow boots, and walk around with them. If you have a teeny tiny teacup dog, or just one that, has no coat on them and you can tell that they're suffering, you can definitely help them out by putting a sweater on them or something. And if it's an older dog that is potty trained, maybe they just don't need to go right then. Try again later. If it's not frigid and they're just being a wuss, it's okay to let them keep trying until they go. They're going to learn that their reward for going to the bathroom outside is coming back inside. We had a pug that did not like to go outside when it was like below 55. And she would stand at the back door and shiver and be oh so pitiful. And we would be like, Rosie, you need to go to the bathroom. So we would just walk away, pretend like we weren't home, and eventually she'd turn, she'd run off, do her business, and come back inside. So basically, what you should take away from this episode is you need to be patient, you need to be consistent, and you need to just make sure that you're doing the darn thing. And if you're truly having prolonged issues, it is worth mentioning to your vet. So at an early age, you're going into the vet every few weeks to get their boosters for their shots. When you go in, mention, hey, we're still struggling with potty training. This is what's happening. And they're going to be able to maybe catch a urine sample. Maybe they'll reassure you that you just need to keep going. Maybe they'll tell you where you're going wrong. If you have an older dog, like a rescue, I would definitely encourage you to, well, one, make sure that they're healthy. And two, those dogs are really hard because they're older, and if they've been used to just going to the bathroom wherever, it's going to take them a while to catch on. You just need to be consistent, have the constant supervision, and never, ever, ever make it an angry or a bad thing, because they already are struggling to trust you, and they don't need you to pile this up on them as well. So if you're listening to this and I didn't mention your specific issue, feel free to reach out to me. Even schedule a training plan consultation so that we can really figure out what's going on with your dog and why it's not clicking with them. But I truly hope that I did cover any issues that you have, and good luck, guys. This is a challenge that we all have to face, and it does make you a better trainer in the long run. Thank you so much for tuning into Hounding Harmony Dog Training. If you found this episode helpful, it would mean the world to me if you'd follow the show and leave a quick review. This helps other dog owners find the support that they need too. For more tips, training help, and encouragement, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at HH_dog training, or you can check out the resources in the show notes. Until next time, keep hounding that harmony.